welcome to this episode of Israel Vision. I am Dr. Meridel Rawlings, the wife of Dr. J. Rawlings, who is presently in Greece, and he's working on the third volume of our life story and studying Greek. Meanwhile, my son Daniel and I are here in the studio today to bring you into our Israel. Now, I want to introduce Daniel.
Hi.
Hi, Dan.
How you doing?
Dan's my sidekick. I have to say that this child began his film career at age 12 with his father on a big shoot in Egypt investigating the pyramids. That's how he started. But since then, you've been all over the world with us. Nepal, India, Hong Kong, China.
To say the least. Yeah,
I mean,
few. There's way more.
So many more. Canada,
Switzerland,
America, Switzerland,
Germany,
Greece, Germany.
Where else?
All over Israel.
I can't even remember all the times we've been on filming.
So we've been at it.
Yeah, we have.
So today we want to talk about the neighbors. But before we do, I'm going to read you something from the prophet Isaiah, chapter 60, verses 1 to 3. Arise, shine, for your light has come. This is to Israel, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and deep darkness the people. But the Lord will arise over you, and his glory will be seen upon you. The Gentiles shall come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your rising. Now, what is the definition of glory? Let me give it to you. Glory means to be renowned, or heaviness, which represents honor and substance, which is the opposite of vanity and lightness. And so that's describing the nation today. Israel is a heavy nation. It is a nation of incredible consequence. And so we want to speak about Iran today.
Okay.
And 40 years, an Islamic republic, and very proud of it since the Ayatollahs took over from the Shah.
It's been 40 years.
40 years.
It's a long time.
A long time. And I made a point of listening to Hassan Rouhani's speech. The first thing he said, and I quote, "I stand against the United States of America and Zionism. The enemy will not reach its evil objectives. We are victorious over the backwardness," it's not really a word, "of America." So that's how he started his wonderful speech to the minions that were filling the streets listening in the pouring rain. He says that the Islamic Revolution has safeguarded and protect an Islamic Iran. Well, what do you think about that?
Well, you got to remember. Well, he's has the workings of every dictator that comes up and follows. Because before, from what I know, is before they kicked out the Shah, people were starving on the streets. People didn't have money for bread, for food. They were looking for somebody to come along coach them.
Well, there was a great disparity between the rich and the poor. We know that.
Of course. And when you can't feed your families, problems are going to happen, and the people always look for something to come and spur them out of the moment. Hence, Hitler did the same thing in Germany pre-World War II.
Mussolini did the same thing.
In the beer halls,
Yes.
He was preaching and saying that it was all the Jews' fault.
That's right. We had to find an enemy. Well, Rouhani has found his enemy. But my thought is that it is a fearful nation. And because of the fear, they attack, they threaten. And I think the two go together. Hatred and fear, of course, are very much linked. And I want to...
but that's how they rule, by fear.
By fear, and
But that's how all draconian governments and regimes rule.
Yes.
Is by fear and looking to blame an enemy. A common enemy that they can say it's their fault for
that's right.
how the state of the nation is.
But he is so focused on Zionism. He didn't say the name Israel. I thought that was interesting. But I want to say he's promised us destruction. And destruction means to lay waste, to destroy utterly, or to disintegrate. And as I say the word disintegrate, I must say I'm very happy that their last missile fizzled.
It did?
It was a
did?
complete failure. Yes.
I just saw the pictures of it. It was big, they were having the big
Yeah.
march around
So
it.
proud.
Really,
yeah.
it fizzled. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. That's
Now
pretty
listen,
funny.
tell me what you know about why they could possibly fear Israel.
Well, Israel is a military might, one of the top 5 in the world, to start with. And the Israelis infiltrated the Iranians in a very smart way, with a virus, with a computer virus, with a computer code weapon. It was called Starknets. What they did was they got the virus into the nuclear compound, by some professor's computer that went in and hooked up all the stuff. And the virus jumped onto their centrifuges and started playing with the gauges. So everything would look normal, like all the parameters would look normal in the gauges, but in the backwork, in the clockwork, they were going crazy. So they were pumping the revolutions way too high, so they were burning their centrifuges, and hence they weren't able to make uranium for a few years. And they fired everybody from their nuclear power team.
Incredible.
So it took them a while to figure out what was going on, but also now the Iranians have a big cyber defense as well. So they have to be careful. It's a chess game.
And the thing is, Mr. Netanyahu goes to the UN and tells them what Israel has discovered about Iran, but does anyone believe him?
I don't know.
He brought out all those hundreds and hundreds of files. Do they believe him? But he's right. And Israel has recently bombed the Iranian sites in Syria, just recently, because they want to build nuclear facilities in Syria. So these are our neighbors. We're talking about our neighbors today. The other thing in the news that we want to mention are honor killings. They're still going on. It's medieval, it's primitive, it's shocking. But what happens in an honor killing? We had a beautiful young Israeli Arab girl and her father go to Turkey recently, but her big brother...
They fled to Turkey.
They fled
from here to Turkey.
We don't know why they fled.
They fled.
And
what happened?
And you tell me.
What is it? She was with the father, I believe?
Yes, she went with her dad.
And then the brother came looking for them in Istanbul, and he finally found them.
And what did she do?
And she barricaded herself inside of the hotel room. And I think I can't
and then
can't really remember because I read a lot of reports every day. I think no, she barricaded herself in the room.
Yes.
The brother broke down the door.
Yes.
Totally broke down the door.
Big fella, big
bruiser, big dude. And then she jumped out of the 3rd floor balcony window, breaking her foot. And the father and brother dragged her back in, and then that was the last time that she's been seen alive. She's on CCTV cameras.
Yeah, they got her. Yeah.
And they say that they probably strangled her to death because she has the bruisings around her neck.
Yes. So
that's heavy.
We say we live in the Wild East. We're not kidding. It's wild, and the more we can speak to you and have you consider these things and remember the work of Israel Vision, we would be only so grateful. I think.
But also on the honor killings here, there's about every year there's about 70 to 80 women that die here.
Right in the country.
Right here.
And it's almost like Israel is powerless to do anything about it because you're reaching into religious culture.
And madness.
It is a madness. It's a mad tradition.
Sort of a tribal madness to it.
Yes, right on. Now, sadly, just a few days ago, a beautiful 19-year-old young Israeli girl named Ori Ansbacher was walking in the forest, and a Palestinian 29-year-old felon crept up upon her and raped and stabbed her. What do you know about this guy, Dan?
Well, his name is Arafat Irfayia. He was a Hebron resident that was not supposed to be in the Israeli territories, and he jumped the fence apparently. I think he had a prior arrest to that. I think he was in jail for about 2 years for inciting violence against the IDF, and when he got out, he told the detectives that he'll do it again when he gets out. And surprise, surprise,
He did it.
he did it.
And I think that the one of the things that is absolutely so grievous is that he's proud of what he's done. There is no remorse whatsoever in this person, because he said that he's always wanted to kill a Jew and be a martyr.
But if you look at all the footage from him in the courts and him being escorted out and into police security vans and into jail facilities, he has this smirk on his face, this sinister, disgusting smirk of accomplishment of taking a young girl's life for nothing.
To me, that's the epitome of evil. I can't help but trace it right back to the educational system of these children in the Palestinian Authority for the last 37 years, Daniel.
Well, it all depends on the literature. They haven't changed their literature.
They haven't, and the summer camps.
They've been pushing this genocidal hate literature to kill the Jews, to expel Israelis, or to not only Jews, just anybody that's not Muslim, to expel them from this land. That's their main goal.
From the river to the sea. And that's kind of a heavy note to leave you on, but
Very stark.
but something to consider and to pray. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper who love her. And Daniel and I are going to take you into the heart of Jerusalem and show you just how beautiful she is, getting ready for her Mashiach.
And if there's anything that you guys want us to cover, please leave it down in the comments. We'd love to hear what you guys want, and we'd love having feedback. So anything that you guys want us to cover out here on this neck of the woods, please let us know. Thank you. And hit the subscribe button, because that really helps us.
And also ask us your questions. We'll do our best to answer them.